And topping the hour, pressure is building on U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder at this moment as Republicans deliver a scathing new letter to the Department of Justice, accusing our nation's top law enforcement agency of being intentionally evasive in revealing which DOJ lawyers once represented suspected terrorists. That's where we begin here in America Live. Afternoon, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. All Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee now join a growing chorus directed at General Holder, saying they have, quote, serious concerns about who is shaping the DOJ's terror policies, calling out Eric Holder's refusal to fully answer questions posed to him in a letter from Senator Chuck Grassley and demanding more information or else. Senator Charles Grassley of Iowa is my guest now. Senator, afternoon to you, or else what?
Well, you know, if we were in a majority, it would lead to a hearing on this subject. And, of course, the Attorney General, maybe in a month or so, will be up here for some additional hearings, and we'll be able to call them out. But if they don't want to give us the information, I suppose they don't have to. But here's where they are. They're being intellectually dishonest in that this president run on a platform of being transparent. They're being dishonest in the sense of not cooperating with the checks and balances and the constitutional oversight power of Congress to have information to make sure that the laws are adequately executed. And also, it's a question of national security. You know, it's not a case of these lawyers advising the Attorney General in a bank robbery case, but this is a case of national security, wanting to know who has been defending terrorists, who might now be in the Department of Justice in a new role, in a public servant role, and we ought to have this information available. We aren't saying that anything's been done wrong. We just want to know who these people are, because when the Attorney General makes a decision to bring the Sheik to New York for trial, you know, that's a judgment. We need to know what's behind that.
But do you believe that national security is at risk, Senator?
It's a national security issue. Is national security at risk? The point is obvious. I mean, look at what's going on now with people they've caught coming from Colorado to New York to blow up subways. Look at the Christmas bomber as another example. But even if national security was not at risk, you're dealing with an administration that promised transparency, and it seems to me that we ought to have this information.
You have said, Senator, that if they do not provide these names, and so far they have refused your request, and so far no response to this growing chorus from all the Republicans on your committee. You have said if they do not provide the names, quote, they're going to regret it. What do you mean by that?
Well, they're going to regret it from this standpoint, that most of us on this committee, including me as a premier one, I think we have a reputation for fighting to get to the bottom of a lot of things. We take our oversight responsibility very seriously, and I'm an equal opportunity oversight person because, you know, I can go after Republican presidents and attorney generals as well as I can after Democrat ones. So we're just doing our constitutional job is what, and we aren't going to give up.
But why? Why do we have the right to know which lawyers in the Department of Justice once represented Gitmo detainees or other terrorist suspects? I mean, clearly our Attorney General does not think we have the right to know because he really did thumb his nose at your request.
Well, okay, first of all, you're a lawyer and can probably answer that question better than I can. I'm a farmer, but common sense tells me that we have a constitutional responsibility to do what we have to do as elected representatives of our people and a member of the legislative branch of government to see that laws are faithfully executed. And in this instance, national security is very much an issue because you know all the issues behind if you bring these detainees to the United States, whether they're tried in commission or whether they're tried in our civil courts, criminal courts, you know, there's issues of national security.
But Senator,
why would the president...
Let me ask you this, because you're asking him to identify political appointees who once represented Gitmo, suspected terrorists, and other related defendants. You know, when it comes to political appointees, aren't they, you know, by their very name, political? I mean, is it going to come as a big surprise to you when you find out that Eric Holder has a long list of left-wing liberal lawyers who did work for terrorist suspects down at Gitmo? I mean, is that any huge shock?
Well, Maybe to you it's not a shock, but to me, when you're going to bring these detainees to our criminal courts and give them more constitutional rights than our own military men and women have in court-martial, I think that's a serious move that we have a right to question. And as I started to tell you, they got $500 million in the budget to handle some of these things, as an example. So you're talking about the cost of money. So would have Eric Holder, would have the president move these, or was there advice from people that had defended these detainees previous carry greater weight than maybe it should when national security is at stake?
Understood. Senator Chuck Grassley, thank you so much. I know you've been pursuing this. We've been watching it, and it seems like you're getting more and more support among your Republican colleagues on Capitol Hill for answers here. We'll find out whether you get them. Sir, all the best to you.